Hey everybody, Vicky Fitch here, your direct sales expert and the host of the Do You Neo Need Extra Opportunity show. So thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you. If you guys are new to the broadcast, please make sure that you put your name in the chat and say hey, because we want to keep in touch with you. And also, we want to make sure that you hit the share button. If you're liking the content here, you definitely want to share it out. If you're not sure, feel free to kick back and relax. Check things out, see if you catch the vibe here. What we're trying to do is bring you extra opportunities right now, especially during COVID and beyond. People have been struggling for a while. If you haven't been here before, I'd love for you to drop your name in the chat box. Hey, Allison, welcome to the broadcast. Tell me, just write in first time in the bottom. We do some drawings at the end, and maybe I'll do one that says from the people that say first time. Melanie's not new, but hey, anyway, welcome to the broadcast, Melanie. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your support and always being active here. So those of you, if you're in a Facebook watch group, just so you know, I can't see your comments. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I try, if the person tags me in it, I try and go check it out later and answer things. You can always come over to my page. You can also go to my profile. The profile is, the page is Vicky Fitch 1. It's facebook.com/Vicky Fitch 1, VICKIFITCH 1. And then I can see your comments there. Welcome to the broadcast. I see some first timers. Mystic, welcome to the broadcast. Allison, so glad to have you here. So we want to make sure, like I said, we get in touch with you and can keep you connected with the show. We do have a show every day at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, but on Thursdays, we do the Do You Neo show. We give away some prizes. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We have a sponsor for the show, which I'll be introducing in a few minutes, and that sponsors the prizes and kind of making sure that you guys are all happy and learning ways to save money, make money, and just to be more financially stable, especially during this COVID-19 disaster and beyond, right? So I would love for you guys, like I said, to hit the share button, put a 2 in the chat box if you hit the share button. And like I said, if you're new, feel free to kick back and relax. But the rest of you, you know what kind of value you're going to get. We got to make sure other people are here too. And don't worry about about less people means not enough prizes. We'll make sure everybody gets prizes. Well, not everybody, but we will make sure there's plenty of prizes for you. Okay, so we are live streaming on 7 platforms. So thank you, whatever platform you're on. If you want to drop it in the box and tell us which platform you love the best, then just let me know. Because we want to make sure that we're coming through. I know yesterday or the day before we got something that said something wasn't going well on one of the platforms, so we're always analyzing that to make sure. You can always jump over. We are on multiple places in Facebook. We are on Twitter. We're on Periscope. We're not on Instagram because we're not able to do the screen sharing on Instagram. So I was doing it before, but it would just give me you could just see me, but not the screen. And so it wasn't very effective for our Instagram followers. We're also on YouTube as well. So again, say hey, make sure if you're on Facebook and you are in a group, I can see it'll say Facebook user. It won't tell me your name unless you follow the directions that are there. All right. Let's dig in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and let's get this ready for you guys in presentation mode. Present. Why don't you guys ever get that when you're when it does not want to work for you? You know those days, right? That's the day I'm getting right now. Let's see if we can go ahead and hit present. All right. Now it took me out of seeing you guys. All right. So some days you also will have technological difficulties, and that's just the way it goes. So don't worry. We're going to try this one more time. And let's see. Where are you? This should be it. You should be able to see it right now. So love to know if you guys are seeing and hearing everything okay. You're right. I did that one more time. In this, we do have a background screen running. And I have to take that off. So my apologies there. There we go. Do you Neo? Today's broadcast is called Tips, Tricks, and Q&A. Because you guys have been mentioning that you want some tips and you want some tricks on money saving things. Not necessarily, maybe you're not doing a business, but you want to learn how to save a little bit of money. You're the only one that doesn't stay connected on Scope. I don't know. Really, I don't know why that would be, Lorenzo. I'm so sorry to hear that. But everybody else they don't have trouble. Maybe I'm too electric for your connection. So tips, tricks, and Q&A. And I will tell you right now, even though I'm going to mention it a little bit later, we do have a really great presentation next week called called, what was it? What was it? Oh, I'll get to it in a minute. It's I know the subtitle. It's basically what's leaking out of your wallet. We're trying to make sure that you are not losing money that you don't know about. I'm going to give you ways to check it out. I'm going to show you how to deal with it and how to get that money back possibly. So we're going to talk about that. So make sure that you're registered for next week. And I think I have a little banner here to help you guys remember. Right there, if you go to doyoukneo.com/register, then not only will you be registered, but you also get reminders about the show coming up. And we do have some drawings that are only for registered participants. That helps us keep in contact with you after the fact. So make sure, again, that you go to doyoukneo.com and click the register button. All right, so let me see that what else we got going on for you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this presentation for you and talk about the message. I mean, I'm sorry, it's doing it again. It's not pulling up. It took away my broadcast. I don't know what's going on, people. Hold on one second. I have no idea why it's doing this. I can still see it on the screen, but it won't let me pull it up myself. So, Lorenzo, maybe I'm too electric for my own broadcast now. So let me stop this presentation and see if I can go pull the other one up. It's the strangest thing. It literally, I lose it and then it comes back when I cancel out of it. So I couldn't tell you what's happening. All right, so we'll try this one more time. And here we go. All right. There we go. All right, that worked, I think. You guys can see in here okay? All right, perfect. You guys are awesome. Okay, so we just talked about it. It's the tips, tricks, and Q&A section, right? That's what we're doing. And we want to thank our sponsor, first of all. U Financial is sponsoring this event, and you guys will meet, if you have not already met, Tim, our debt crusher, in just a little while ago. He'll talk to us a little bit about U Financial, and we're also going to touch base in about, our sponsors in Texas as well. We're going to touch base about some things about mortgages. Some of you have mortgages, some of you don't, but a couple things that you might want to know, because there's a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about that will affect you. And you want to be prepared for that because the times are a little crazy right now. We want to be prepared so we can have the best financial future possible. And that includes our extra opportunities, but also protecting ourselves. So we want to be careful. Now, I would be remiss if I did not remind you that today is National Lemonade Day. Put a 1 in the chat box if you knew that. Put a 2 if you did not. And you can put a 3 if you didn't even care. But don't dehydrate in the sun. Hydrate, and have fun. So you guys, it's National Lemonade Day. If you guys are following us on any of our social channels, or if you're getting our newsletter, you would have received a recipe card in there. Zach actually did a TikTok on homemade lemonade that he made from our trees out in the backyard. And I just want to remind you, I don't know what the weather has been like where you are, but it was 112 degrees here in California yesterday, which is really unusual. I mean, 103 is really hot for us. So 112 was like, what in the world is going on? Today it's 104. So we have some really crazy weather. We need to stay hydrated because hydration helps us to think. And I'm sure you guys know when things are stressful and you're dehydrated, not only will you get increased headaches, but difficulty focusing and concentrating. So we want to make sure that you guys are hydrated and have a little fun. And again, if you haven't got our newsletter yet, make sure you register. Go to VickiFitch.com and you can just click the link there. There you go. You can click the link there and you can sign up for our newsletter to make sure that you're always getting it. And there's also a video of Zach making lemonade from the lemons on our tree. So that's kind of fun as well. But we like to have fun. We like to give you tips and tricks on life, as well as fun things to help you with your social media marketing as well. And if you're doing anything for a business or a side hustle, using social media as a free avenue, a tool to, give people the information on your business, it's a critical piece. So a lot of what we do has to do with social media. We also have our other sponsor. This stuff is powered by StreamYard. Now, StreamYard has done a great thing. If you guys know our broadcast, and that's why we have so many great slides and opportunities. We can now bring even more people on board. We're going to be having sessions later on where we'll bring multiple people on and we can have a conversation again to try and help you guys to be prepared. So if you want a free trial, you can go to the doyouneo.com website. I believe it's on the sponsor page. You scroll down and there's a bar. We'll update this next time and make sure that that we have an actual specific link you can go to get that free trial. But I highly recommend it if you're a live streamer because it gives you a lot of flexibility. Hey, Hillary, welcome to the broadcast. It gives you a lot of flexibility and you can, like I said, bring in guests on and still multi-stream to, a wider arena. Now I'm going to, we're going to talk about this in just a little bit when my cohort gets on here. But, senior citizens, actually, you know what? I'm going to touch base on it while we're waiting for Tim to come. Tomorrow is National Senior Citizen Day. And I just think this is such a cute little picture, right? You're never too old to set another goal or dream or to dream a new dream. And I think sometimes we, no matter if we're young or we're old, we tend to, do that. We tend to all of a sudden start feeling like we're not enough. Hey, Mohammed, welcome to the broadcast. Sorry, guys, I'm back to here. Breon's back. Welcome. And your hieroglyphics, not sure what that is, but thank you for being here. Lorenzo's in Texas. That's fantastic. Yes. Okay. So Melanie said she didn't know it was National Lemonade Day. Again, if you haven't hit the share button, could y'all hit the share button and make sure that we, extend our reach out to other people? I would really appreciate that because there's a lot of people that are struggling right now, and we want to give them an opportunity to make money and to save the money they already have. But and my regular show that I do is called Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak that I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the Senior Citizen Day thing is really important because, we need to make sure that our senior citizens are taken care of. And there's some companies out there that are taking advantage of them. So I'm going to start exposing them. And I had started talking to you guys a little bit about this. Next week, we'll be exposing someone that's just taking advantage of all people. Doesn't matter who you are. But one of the places that, we're talking about this heat and stuff. I probably won't go into all the details, but they're taking advantage of senior citizens. And that just makes my blood boil. So even if it wasn't something like this, we've got to protect those that we care about. And we have to make sure that our future is solid either way, right? We want to make sure our future, because we're going to be older one of these days, maybe not today, but soon, we're going to continue because time flies really fast and we're going to get older. So we got to make sure that people are taking care of our senior citizens. Okay, so what I'll do right now is talk to you guys about some of the questions that have been coming through and answer those and see how I can help you. Now, if you have questions right now on how you can make extra money or something that you saw maybe on a broadcast you want some more details on, go ahead and throw it because live viewers will get first priority. But I also want to answer the questions that have been coming in because you guys have been really great about reaching out. But I think some of you are, I don't know if we're embarrassed about where we're at. And I want to remind you again that shame has no place in your life, right? If you've done something wrong and you're, let's just say you've done something, and it's not even wrong. Let's say you made a financial investment that didn't go well. And right now you're struggling financially, right? Besides the fact that COVID's taken over. I know I'm sweating. Yes, I really am. It's hot in here. It's hot. My air conditioner can't keep up with the temperature outside. So forgive me. But there are so many things that we can do to protect ourselves and take care of ourselves. I did lose my train of thought. So you guys will have to help me get back on track there. But there's so many things that we can do. And there are so many ways that we can, start to make money, but we feel shame. We feel shame if maybe we tried a business and it didn't go well and other people are kind of making fun of us. We feel shame that we're struggling financially and we want to pretend like, oh no, we're fine when we're not. And I want to encourage you, not that you have to go touting it to the world and telling anybody what's going on, but what you want to do is make sure that they recognize that you're doing something about it. Not that they recognize it, that you recognize you're doing something about it and that you have something to offer them. If you've done a direct sales business or a side hustle in the past, I know a friend of mine, hey, Diana, welcome to the broadcast. I know a friend of mine had started making these little crafty bags that she was selling to the cheerleaders and stuff. And then, of course, it went away because the cheerleaders really aren't cheering. And so people said, oh, that was such a waste of your time. You invested so much time and energy in that. And the fact is, it wasn't a waste of her time. The economy or circumstances change. But what I told her to do is pivot a little bit. Who else can use that product if you tweak it a little bit? Who else can use that service? And why can't you put it online? Now, this is an idea I had. Little girls' birthday parties, for instance. Okay, so when I didn't have a little girl, like my stepdaughter was already 11 when my husband and I started dating, so I never got to do the little girl things with her. But if I was doing a party, like for a granddaughter or something, and these cute little bags, I would make one for each of the guests. Now, some of the kids can't come to parties right now, right? And people are doing virtual parties. I would put those together with goodies that they can do, like the little bubbles. You saw the little bubbles grandma had, bubbles and different things, and mail them out as the invitation to the kids at the party. So what you have to do is pivot and market your services in a different way. You have to pick what you want to do. If you do something well and you have the skill and talent to do it, you just have to pick a different way to deliver the message. So I hope that makes sense. Can I get two in the chat box if that makes sense to you guys? Just pop a 2 in there and let me know if that made sense. And what can we do? What is it that you do that you're trying to figure out how to make money doing? What is it that you do that you need to tweak or change, right? Hey, Frank, thanks for being here. And Frank's got the 2 in there. Hold on, I'm getting a message from my guest. Yes, are you coming? All right, let's see. He's sending a message, but I can't listen to a voice message while I'm on the air. Do you guys ever do that? You realize you send a message, because I am a big Facebook Messenger person, and I'm always leaving voice messages. Well, like when unless they have an earphone in, they can't actually listen to those things in some circumstances. Okay, so we have to prepare ourselves. We have to pivot. We have to identify what we have as a product or service and figure out a way to use it in the current marketplace. Now, I'd love to know what some of you guys are doing. If any of you are doing a side hustle and how to do it. Like Frank, I know that you're an Optavia coach. I think you're still an Optavia coach, right? And so Optavia has a great weight loss program. Now, I actually did the program. I think, what did I lose? 7 pounds or something, Frank, in a short period of time. And so it's kind of the same, like the same thing. This is a great time. We don't want to press people. We don't want people to feel uncomfortable. Hold on. We don't want people to feel uncomfortable, but those statistics show that everyone has been gaining weight, that everyone has gained weight through COVID, right? When I got on the scale not too long ago, I was like, oh, holy Toledo, what in the world? 7 pounds in 2 weeks. And that was just from eating the foods that were provided as part of their program. And so this is a great time. If I was Frank, I would definitely be out there reminding people and starting some, weight loss circles or groups or whatever, but specific ones, right? And not necessarily the generic, hey, because we know everybody wants to lose weight right now. Everybody is kind of going through this whole thing. And so everybody's going back and forth. We have different pieces. And sorry, he's messaging me. It's like, I don't think he realizes I'm literally live right now, and the messages keep popping up and I can't read them and keep my train of thought and continue with this. So if he doesn't make it in, we'll have him come in next week to go over, or maybe he'll just come in for his end of the session segment. That's okay too. We can always tag on the stuff he wanted to talk about mortgages next time for our sponsor. But let's get back to Frank and weight loss. So let's say Frank is an old car enthusiast, right? And so he's got a group of people that like to fix old cars and do that kind of stuff. Well, since the statistics show pretty much everybody has gained weight. I mean, honestly, I think they went on surveys, 93% of people have gained weight during COVID. And so, it's like that's a lot of people. So, finding a way to approach the topic and go, "Hey guys, I don't know about you, but my wife says I'm a little squishy, and I was going to start this, this program, or, I was going to do a 2-week thing or a 3-week thing or a 6-week thing or a 12-week thing, whatever it is you want to do. And, this is the program I'm using. Let me know if you want to, but let's start a group. I'll have somebody, and you can ask other people in different industries. I know a friend of mine named Beth Hoover that does, she does fitness online, and invite Beth. Say, hey Beth, can you come to a session like for one of the groups? And you just invite other people that are willing to contribute and might be able to get some business out of it, but are willing to help people. And you create, this small group of people that aren't going to respond to a random Facebook post. But maybe, you even find ones that are in your local area. You find a walking club. Like I heard that I heard there's a walking club and they have the rope 6 feet apart like you do with little kids, like a little train. And I thought, okay, I'm sorry, but I would go on the walk, but I would not wear the rope. I don't know. I just don't see that part happening. But there's lots of places and groups and things that you can do to get the message out into small micro groups, because micro groups are still effective and micro groups still have a circle of influence. They still have the potential to reach additional people and to reach additional things. And so, just that's where we want to kind of recognize those things, that we got to look at our business and figure out how to do it. Now, I know Melanie happens to be a Legal Shield representative with Terry and Zach. And so what can Melanie do in order to build her business? Because some people feel uncomfortable right now marketing in a pandemic. Put a 3 in the chat box if that's ever been something that you felt uncomfortable about. If you have a side hustle or marketing during the pandemic, how do I do it? How do I represent it? What, am I tacky? Is it something that people, are uncomfortable with? And so marketing in the pandemic, okay, thanks, Mel. Marketing in the pandemic is looking at people that are struggling. Now, it's kind of a offshoot, but it's completely spot on and on point, right? Hey, Ann, welcome to the broadcast. And thanks again, guys, for sharing it out. My son, Zach, was out at a park. What is it? A few months ago, right? It was during COVID, but it was at a park, an open area. And he parked his car, and his girlfriend parked her car, and they walked to an area, and there were some bluffs and stuff, and there was her sister or someone was there as well. You sure are talking clear. Thank you, Unspoken. I hope you're being serious and not sarcastic, but I will take it as a compliment. Thank you so much. So they were walking, and when they wanted to see the stars and something, or maybe it was sunset. I don't remember the exact situation, but when they got back, there were tickets on their cars. Now there was no signs posted there. There was nothing that showed that it was another, I don't know, 400 or 500 yards down the road that said that there was no parking. So those are the things that I would then find other people, because those, find out what's going on and make sure. I would probably do a Facebook ad that let people know, hey, Legal Shield is here to help. This isn't legal for them to do this. They have to post these signs. And if this has happened to you, contact me and I'll help you. So all you do, like if you get a parking ticket or you get a ticket with Legal Shield, all you have to do is snap it on the app and send it in, and they'll tell you if it's defensible or not. Sometimes asking for additional information. So you can target a situation where people aren't being treated fairly and offer them a solution. Just do a quick live stream on it or a webinar or something, because if they are in the same circumstance, then they're going to want to know how to fix it too. So micro influencing is still extremely important for your business or your brand, or for trying to develop something, because that's where that huge impact can come in. So anyway, hopefully that kind of came through. I don't know if you guys want to drop in what your other businesses are. I can try and expand on some of those. I also want to talk a little bit about social media, because social media is a place that, again, it's free advertising and the opportunity for you to do your business, to build your business and your brand. Put a 4 in the chat box if you guys are involved in social media. Put a 4 in the chat box if you guys are involved in social media, and understand how to use it as a tool to help you. Again, and the Do You Neo show, right? Do you need extra opportunities? we want to make sure that you know how to use the tools that are available to you, especially when they're free. Because when you use a free tool, it's amplifying your message and get at for free. And let's face it, that's like, if you have a megaphone, you want to amplify the message, but you can amplify the message and continue to amplify by your friends and their friends of friends, and those people continuing to share that message as well. For Melanie says 4 and she sorts of understands. And that's true for most people. I think they they know, they think they understand how to do it, but they're not really certain. And so they get stuck. And especially right now in the climate and the culture, people are so afraid of what they can and can't post. Am I allowed to say that? Am I not allowed to say that? Because it's a very heated situation. So trying to keep into neutral topics makes it something that is a little bit easier. And that's why the national hashtag strategy, and you can get that free, by the way, on my website. You can go to VickiFitch.com/freebies. Let me see if I can put that in here. .com/freebies. And you can get the national hashtag calendar and start creating some graphics like we did, for instance, with the National Lemonade Day and the one we were talking about for seniors. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. Pull our slide deck back up because Tim has shown up, and we're going to, have some conversation with him, and he's going to expand on a couple things that he wanted to tell you guys about mortgages and a couple other areas where things might be, where money could be slipping by, and it's something that you want to at least analyze. So let me do our screen share again. And again, to make sure you put your questions back in the chat box so we can make sure to answer them. So this is where we left off, that you're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. And you'll notice I use the hashtag here, National Senior Citizen Day. Now that happens to be tomorrow. So you could grab a graphic like this and use it. How can your business relate to seniors, senior centers? Like for instance, Melanie, again, that you do Legal Shield to make sure that people have their wills done, to make sure that they have a durable power of attorney set. So there are places that we can respectfully market, and we can talk about that a little bit more later, but we can respectfully market using the hashtags that are oftentimes trending. Now, recently, of course, the hashtags that are trending happen to have nothing to do with the standard hashtags, but remember, there are people still looking out there based on hashtags. Like they're looking for, hey, Senior Citizen Day, and you might hook up with brands or different things that have to do with that particular hashtag. So it's something very useful and helpful for you. Well, right now, as we talked about before, seniors, we want to protect seniors as well as all of you. We have our special guest and sponsor, Tim the Debt Crusher. So let me go ahead and bring Tim on camera here really quick. Well, hello, Tim. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we were talking about you when you weren't here because you messaging me.
Hope it was all good.
And I'm trying to read your comments, answer you while I'm talking to these people. So we were having a joke at my expense because I'm like, well, I'm very talented, you guys, but he's messaging me. I'm trying to read it, talk to you, and stay on track at the same time.
Yeah.
So welcome to the broadcast, Tim.
Thank you so much. It's always good to be here. I guess my third time being on here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Tim, you're going to bring us some financial tips here. And I know today you talk something about mortgages and maybe perhaps something else as well. But why don't you go ahead and share what your tips are today to help people stay focused and recognize that their financial freedom and their financial future is something really important as well.
I definitely will. And one thing that we've not done in the three times is enabled me to share my screen. Am I able to do that?
You are.
Oh, right.
Do you see the bottom part? Let me pull this off.
I see share screen. Yes.
Yep. There you go. You can share it. And when you do, it will pull up. It'll push us to the side and it'll pull your screen up.
Look at that. Modern technology. You got to love it. All right.
So we don't see your screen yet. Did you?
Oh, you don't see it yet. Okay. Let's see.
You hit screen share and then you have to pick either all or you can pick a
specific. Yeah, I did that, I think. I'm gonna say stop sharing. Oh, you know what? I think what it was is we were looking at the same screen.
Okay, go ahead and put it back up. All right. There we go.
So now just looking at.
Yep. Now just go ahead and pick it up. There we go.
Okay. Well, listen, everybody, thanks for joining us today. It's always great. Vicki, you do a fabulous job at hosting these. There's a couple things that I wanted to accomplish today to try to give you some tidbits of information that I think will help. And, we're in the debt game, right? We're in the game of eliminating debt and crushing debt really quickly. And 80% of Americans right now have some form of debt. Unfortunately, there's about 80% of people that don't have a whole lot of savings going into retirement as well. And so we won't get into that piece today, but I want to talk about just a couple of things. And I want to start with this thing right here, because I think most people would agree that maybe it's not the new American way, but certainly the American way, that we're out right now buying things that we probably don't need with money that we don't have to impress people we don't know, or to satisfy some type of immediate gratification.
Just hold on to that for a minute, guys. Think about that. Buy things we don't need, check. With money we don't have, check. To impress people we don't know, check, right? Do you hit those categories, one or more? And don't be embarrassed if you do. You don't have to tell anyone, but just recognize what Tim's saying is that this is the time for us to adjust course and start focusing on our future.
That's right. That's right. And, debt is one of those necessary evil things, right? We get out of college, we want to buy a house, we get married, whatever order that's all in. We want to buy a house, we want to buy a car. And I'm not even talking about consumer debt. I think we would in our minds think of good debt and bad debt, and buying a home, good debt, maybe need a car, an education. Those all kind of fall in the category of semi-good debt. Mm-hmm. What we've been accustomed to, though, is that we're not we're staying married to this debt way too long, and it's inhibiting our ability to retire. It's inhibiting our ability to grow any type of wealth outside of maybe a small 401k that we have at work. And here's a sad fact that is going on in America right now. People will spend more in interest in their lifetime, much more, countless times more than they'll ever earn in interest in anything that they're investing in, including their 401k. So I want you to stop and just think about what I just said there for a minute, okay? If we have a major issue with an interest problem, okay, we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in our lifetime on interest. In other words, paying the bank, being connected to the bank, being locked into the bank, okay?
Right.
Versus what we think we're doing over here is growing. We have a financial advisor, which are great. We need them. But in the grand scheme of things, we're not earning as much as we're spending, okay? So what do we do about that? Well, here's what I want to ask you. If you just had to stop and think about this question, how do you feel about personal debt? I'd like everybody just to stop and think about this, okay? And this is all-inclusive debt, but I've just put up the big four, right? Mortgages, car loans, credit cards, and student loans. How do you
if we want to ask them how they feel, do we want to give them something to do? Like put a 5 in the chat box if you like it and a 6 if you don't.
yeah. It might be too close, those numbers. I don't know. No, but
they'll catch them. Then no, 5 if you like that, 6 if you don't. I'm pretty sure I know. Or you can do emojis.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tim.
The point here is that most of us feel some level of anxiety about debt. We get ourselves in debt and we're trying to figure out ways to get out of debt as quickly as we can. The problem is that most of the time there's not a systematic way to do that. So what do, Vicki? We pay the minimums, right? And the minimums actually get us deeper and deeper into debt because we're probably continuing to spend as we're paying those minimums. And I don't know if most people know this, but your minimum, this is almost, well, it is extortion in a sense. The minimum percent that your credit cards have to charge you in principal, do you know what it is, Vicki?
I don't. Well, I think I do actually.
It's 1%. Yeah. Okay, per month, right? So if I have a $10,000 bill, okay, my interest only needs to be $100. $100. I'm going to take these off because I'm not even using them right now.
Okay.
But
go Diane. She says she's not in debt at all. We're excited for her.
Perfect. We love it. And maybe there's people, because we are talking about opportunities here, maybe there's people that she knows that are in debt and we can work with that in just a moment. But the point being is that if we're in a situation where we are in debt up to our eyeballs, like the old commercial. I think you showed that maybe in one of your
I
shows.
didn't. I was going to show it today. We're going to show it next week for sure, though.
Yeah. So the question is, how do you get out of it? We're going to talk about that, but I want to show you something else before we do that. And this is going to probably blow some of your listeners' minds, viewers' minds. Hopefully everybody has a pen and pad next to them, right? They're learning today, right? We're taking some notes.
Hopefully, but a lot of people might be driving, but they can always watch the replay.
There you go. All right. So I use Bankrate a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Bankrate has all types of different calculators. I use the mortgage calculator a lot to prove a specific point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very easy to use. And this is not if you're buying a new house. This is just to prove the point. So I'm sure a large percentage of the people watching this, Vicki, have homes. They own homes.
Guys, put a 7 in the chat box if you own your own home. Okay.
Perfect.
Just pop a 7 in the chat box if you own your home. We know this might not be relevant to everyone. So remember, it might be relevant to someone you know. So keep in mind that, even when we're giving you tips and tricks that may or may not apply to you, that you can become educated and information so you can share it with other people. And again, don't you dare allow shame to stop you from whether or not you have a home or not does not matter. It doesn't change your value whatsoever. Okay. Gotcha. Marcia, Virginia, go ahead.
Perfect. And I would contend for those who maybe it doesn't apply today, maybe you have a few younger folks on here or people that are in transition between renting and buying, that it will apply to you at some point. So this is just a real heads up. And it's not to say don't buy a home, don't go into debt into a mortgage. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there is a way to not stay married to debt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my
Who wants to divorce debt?
Yeah.
Like put some emojis up, people. Who wants to divorce debt? Because woof, that's what a freeing thing. And Tim, I'm just gonna, because sometimes numbers can get people very like blah blah. They get a little overwhelmed. So we just want to remind them that guys, divorcing debt is something that we should all aspire to. Divorce is not is a bad word, except for when it comes to debt. We gotta get rid of that. And so Tim's gonna give us a tip for another minute here of just kind of how mortgage things work, so you guys can share it with someone else if you don't have one.
Okay, so I'm going to keep this really high level. Okay, I think if we went through this meeting and we asked, what's a good mortgage rate? Everybody's going to say right around 3.5%, maybe 4%. Everybody can probably understand that that's a decent rate. Okay. Well, what I want to show you here is that at 3.5%, we think that's a really good rate, right? Mm-hmm. We're getting a really good rate from our mortgage broker. Mm-hmm. Well, when we go to pay the very first payment, okay, our first payment on that house, this is, by the way, I put in a $300,000 house. That's kind of the average home price in America today. You put 20% down, $60,000. That's a 30-year mortgage, okay? 3.5% interest. Well, what does that actually do in your very first payment? Well, here it is, September 20th, a month from today. We're going to pay a payment of $1,077, and the interest on that is $700.
Think about that, guys, for a minute. And again, I know numbers can make some of your head spin, but you're paying 2/3 interest, approximately 2/3 interest, 1/3 towards your principal.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the end of year 2021. Okay, so that's still 16, 15 months out, let's say. And all we're going to do is we're going to take this number right here. This is kind of why I wanted you to have a pad and paper, because I want you to, sometimes when you do the math and you figure it out, you'll really understand it for yourselves. But if I just took $11,000, so in that many months, I've paid a total of $17,000. 11 of it, Vicki, went to interest. So if I divide 11 into 17, I have a great interest rate, right? 3.5%. Everybody's excited about 3.25%. We just spent 65% of all the money we gave the bank to interest.
So let's process that for a minute, guys. And I'd love to know if you have some questions. I know, like I said, this is a little much for some of you, especially those of you who are driving or at work. And this is a podcast, so a lot of you aren't, some of you are watching it, literally watching it. And many of you are listening to the podcast on your, on whatever system you're on. So Tim's just using an example. Your total payments would have been $17,232. Your principal was $6,165.76, and your interest was $11,066.24. So that's, you can hear that math and recognize that that's a huge amount of interest, even when we're getting what we think is a really good rate. So the program that Tim has helps you to pay that down much quicker. So why don't you kind of recap that for them real quick before, like I said, you're going to lose some of them with too many financial figures.
Yep. So I want you just to fixate on that 11,000 because that's what you paid in interest.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a way on your home now or a future home that you could actually have an effective interest rate of 1%. Okay. We're going to go back and look at that again. We're at 11,066. What would an effective interest rate look like? Because you thought 3.5% was good, but what if you could have an effective interest rate of 1%? You've gone from $11,000. This is just basically in 1 year to $3,000, a savings of about $8,000. If you multiply that out over obviously the lifetime of the loan, it's incredible. Sure. So here's my point. Not to get confused and too caught up in the numbers. My point is this. It's very simple. Is that if you have any debt, okay, it's hampering your ability to retire on time. It's hampering your ability to, build any type of wealth, do the things that you want to do in life, that you dreamt of in life. Also, it's creating stress, anxiety. It's creating issues in your relationships at home. And I would contend that if there was a way to get 1% versus 3.5%, that you would do it. We have what we call a free savings report, and we've talked about it on your show before. And it's no obligation, doesn't cost any money to do it. But basically, you run your information through the system, and then it kicks out, okay, how much interest could you save using this program? How much time could you save? How much wealth could you build? Right. And if we're not thinking of those things, because maybe they're a little in over our head, I would contend that we stop for a moment and think about those things. Don't rely on other people necessarily to think of those things for you. Stop, take it in, and see what the program has to offer you.
Absolutely. And if you guys need, I don't know if we set that other link up for you or not, but if you go to the registration link, doyouneo.com/register. And in the comments section, you can put that you were interested in the free savings report. We can make sure that gets out to you. I know we were setting up a page and I'm drawing a blank on where we put that, but we'll make sure that that's done before next week. But getting that information, whether it's for you or whether it's someone else that these are times when getting out of debt faster will give us the freedom, the flexibility, and the relief from not having to worry about whether or not we're going to get additional stimulus money, right? Not having to worry whether we're going to get extra unemployment funds, not having to worry whether we qualify for the PPP loans. And that's where I think most Americans for sure are struggling right now, is that they weren't prepared and now they're into this and they got to figure out what to do. And so I love Tim's slide earlier when he's saying, we're buying things we don't need with money we don't have. And it's true. Like, the government might not like me saying this, but the fact is stimulus money I get was to, to put it out in the economy. But there's also a point where, you can pay off some debt, right? You can pay off some debt with some of that. And then if you have to re-access the line because you don't have enough money for, food or whatever, but maybe I'm not judging. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm saying maybe we don't have to go out and spend it just because it came in. And with those, I can tell you with the debt reports from You Financial, you can put in, what if I got this money, and it'll tell you where to pay it off, what debt, it tells you how to maneuver things. I don't know. Can you guys put a 7 in the, no, 8 in the chat box if you guys like saving money, right? Just give me an 8. Cause I got to tell you, girlfriend here likes to save money. I will hunt down a deal. It just makes me feel good, right? It's like, sure. I got this dress for $5. It's like $100 dress. I got it for $5. And us women, we will typically tout it from the rooftops. We will let people know I just got a great deal, right? Frank says he likes to save money. Diane likes to save money. And so when we're thinking of things, we think of them as too big, or we think of it, this must be the same thing I've always, already heard about and blah, blah, blah. Get your free financial report. I mean, the worst that can happen is you go, oh, that was interesting. And the best that can happen is it can actually change your life. Because imagine if you could get out of debt so much faster. And when this kind of thing happened, you didn't have to worry. You're like, oh, Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's happening, but I don't have to stress. Thanks, Marcia. Thanks, Virginia, Dolores, Diane. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your contributions here. I would love to know if any of you guys have some questions about, to ask Mr. Debt Crusher here on how you can crush your debt. And because sometimes small little tips give us the direction just to move forward just a little bit, getting that report, identifying, something else that's going on. And if you let us know, like I said, you can always PM me and we can get that information to you as well. You might be driving right now and you're not thinking of it. You can text or message and we can get that. Frank says, just got a new 2.875% refi with owning, should close any day now. So that's great that you've already got that. And then that your rate's better. Tip for the future, like for anybody else, before you do the refi, get the free savings report and see if it actually behooves you to do it. Because oftentimes it doesn't. Many times it does, but oftentimes when you start looking at the closing costs and the things that are involved, it isn't as great as you think it is. But Frank, that is a great rate, and super excited to hear that you're taking advantage of some of the things that are going on. I think you absolutely, knowing you for as long as I have, you should definitely get that free savings report. I think it would make a big difference for you. And I know your family, and I know you have a side hustle, and so you're a perfect person to be a debt crusher yourself.
Hey, Vicki, we had a lady just 2 weeks ago up in Ohio that was going to close on a refinance the following week. She did a free savings report. And after she did the free savings report, she called her broker and shut the loan down.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's not happening all the time like that, but it just happened to be the timing was such that it worked out. And again, listen, I'm all for a good refinance, right? If we need to reduce our monthlies, if we need to get our interest rate down, if we need to maybe pull some cash out for whatever reason, I'm not suggesting that all refinances are bad. But to your point, yeah, get the free savings report, at least see it, because it might not make sense. Because here's the thing, that $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $5,700 is the average closing cost right now in America. Okay. So when we close on a loan, that gets built into the new loan, right? Gotcha. So we're adding not only all the interest up front, like we just looked at, but we're adding $5,700. And that's not always in your best interest, especially if you don't plan to be in that house for more than 7, 8, 10 years. One of the thing I wanted to share as a tip, has nothing to do with mortgages or anything else, is I always like to share this. There was a study that was done, I want to say it was in 2018, and it was all about subscriptions. And they went and they talked to 2,500 people. And they said, I'm going to ask you a question. You have 10 seconds to answer it. And the question is, how much money do you spend per month in subscriptions, like online subscriptions? On what? On online subscriptions. Okay, we all have a bunch of them. In 10 seconds, the average number was $71. Then they said, all right, I'm going to ask that question again, but I'm going to give you 30 seconds to really think it through. Well, that number went up to $111 because people are thinking, oh, I've got this or I've got that, right? Then in the third, they actually gave them a list of all the possible subscriptions, and they checked off what they had. And guess what? That number was over $200 a month on average.
Wow.
So my point is, whether that's going to like Truebill, which is a website that helps eliminate costs when it comes to subscriptions and other things. We have money. We all have extra money that we're burning, right? We're just lighting a match and we're burning it. Subscription.
I don't know. Some of my people might disagree with you, Jim. I don't know that I always say we can find it. We can usually find a little extra cash.
Well, maybe that's the same different definition, but it's the same concept, right?
Right.
I mean, we're spending money on things that we probably don't need to. And subscriptions are like a perfect place to start. Do a subscription audit in your family and figure out how much money you can save. Maybe it's $10, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 300, who knows?
That's good. Yeah, Matthew, exactly like your Hulu account. Well, some people, and I know in the business world, when I go and do an audit of people's stuff, oftentimes they have they have subscriptions for all kinds of online software,
Yeah.
and 2 or 3 of them do everything they need. They just don't know it, and they keep adding on different pieces, and we can often save them
Well,
500
you
to
helped me.
1,000.
You personally helped me with that because you got me into Infusionsoft, so that's good.
And that's the thing, is that sometimes people don't recognize, and without having that logistical background of being able to say, oh, this, you can already do that. What you have,
Yeah.
oh, that already does that, that, and that. You don't
Mhm.
need that. And, just kind of go through. But I think that's what he's talking about, guys, is let's look at what we do have and what we don't have. And just ponder this. Again, not that you have to do it. Ponder, not when you do find the extra money, not spending it. Ponder applying it towards something. And if you have a U Financial account, you get to see exactly the exact day you're going to be debt free. And every time you add new things too, so then I'll show you, oh, if I take that vacation, oh, that's going to move that 6 months. If I don't take the vacation and I apply this other $10 a month, ooh, it's going to take another month off. And you can start playing a game and become excited, because right now we get excited. I mean, let's be honest, we get excited about something new, about spending or buying or talking about, and talking, and just we excited about stuff that's new. And so it's when we have a place to redirect. Hey guys, let's go out for dinner. Like, our budget, you can say in your own mind, you don't have to say it out loud. Our budget is $50 a month. We already spent that. And if I do it, then this is going to go up, and you get to make an informed decision, because you might say, yep, we're going to do it anyway. And you might say, maybe not. Or like destination weddings, those aren't super popular right now because of COVID, but before, I'd be getting these invitations like, oh, let's go to Maui, let's go to Fiji, bringing your whole family to a wedding, and it costs you as much as the wedding. You have to make decisions on what you think is best for you. And sometimes it's easier when you can see the number up, changing, moment to moment.
Hey, Vicky, one other thing I just want to share, and again, this might be real basic for a lot of your listeners and viewers, but something that my wife and I do, and I can't say that we're perfect at this, but we're pretty good, is we do weekly meetings on Sunday evenings.
Uh-huh.
We have a fantastic family, fantastic relationship, but we do have this business element to our relationship where we need to sit down once a week. And it's not long meetings, but just go over what's going on. And we, talk about finances, we talk about investments, we talk about our family, we talk about what's going on for the upcoming week in our schedule. And a lot of you probably already do that, but I find a lot of couples don't do that. And so they're like two trains passing in the middle of the night,
right?
And they're not on the same page with their finances. And the things we're talking about, eliminating subscriptions, paying down your debt, looking at your mortgage differently, that's really, if you're married, that's really something that I think you got to be doing, in parallel. If you're two trains passing in the night, you're never going to get on the same page. So if that's a challenge for you, I would say, let's sit down with our spouse and figure this piece out,
Well, it's certainly a good suggestion. Now, guys, let me know if you guys go to doyouneo.com/register. You can put the notes in there that you guys are interested in the free savings report. You can also pop it in the chat here. You can send me a private message, or Terry or Tim, whoever you want to. But as we, kind of wrap up today's show, we want to I'm going to go over back to our slide deck really quick and kind of give you guys a couple more tips that we were talking about on what's happening now, what's coming up for next week's, because I really want you guys to be registered for next week as well, because I know that one's really going to help you. So as you know, Tim just gave you his debt crushing tips, and we will continue bringing that. Many of you have been asking for, kind of some specific advice. If you haven't joined the Entrepreneurial Rockstars group, I recommend you go in there. And if you are in there, but you haven't been paying attention, go in there. I've been doing a 5 to 10 minute event at 11:15 every day to give you guys what I call a daily dose. Daily dose of affirmation was today. Daily dose of discipline. Daily dose. So every day we try and give you some, and we'll add in some maybe financial tips as well, because like I said, that's where people are struggling. We want to make sure that you have access to that. And then what's coming up next? If you guys, if you're not on the newsletter list, if you're not knowing, then you don't know. But next week is called Hidden Charges, What's Leaking from Your Wallet? Because on the Do You Neo show, we're trying to help you find extra opportunities, but extra opportunities to make money also means stopping the leaking that you got going on now. And I'm not talking about what you spend. I'm talking about the charges you're being charged that you don't know about and how to get them back, because that's kind of an area of my expertise, is that and that's why I started the We're Not Going to Take It show, is telling, to make sure you guys know when businesses and brands are taking advantage of you and you don't even know it. So we're going to be exposing some of that, which will be very enlightening and aggravating, I promise you. But this will give you my tips. If you guys are here on the Do You Neo show, I'm actually going to show you the form letter, like I do different letters all the time, but I've created a form letter for you guys to be able to use to get some of those things back, a script to, just kind of guide you along of what questions you need to ask and who you need to talk to make sure that these things are getting taken care of, and what companies to stay away from, because they absolutely, no matter what you do, without getting lawyers involved, are not willing to do the right thing. So that's coming up next week. And then right now we do have Prize Patrol. So I appreciate you guys being there. If you guys have not yet registered, I recommend you do that real quick. Go over to doyouneo.com/register. And I also told you guys that I would give a prize away. Let's see, what was it for? If you were new, right? And you put the new in here, I was going to pick someone. Let's see. I'm scrolling through here while you guys are over there registering so we can give you a chance. Let's see. Wasn't it? Oh, Allison, are you the only one that actually wrote it in there? I know there's more because I can see them, but I think Allison, I don't know how you pronounce it, Allison Mick. Maybe that's Allison Mike. I'm not sure, Allison. But I think you're the only one who wrote it first time in there.
Makes it easy to give out the gift.
Right. So Allison, you win. And I don't remember which prize that we had right here, but what I want you to do is go to the doyouneo.com/I1, and all you do is fill your information in there and we will mail your prize. It might be a mug, it might be a shirt, it might be I'm not sure what you got. It might be a book. Let me see. I have to find. There it is. There it is right there. So Allison, congratulations. You guys give her a virtual woo, way to go. And then I'm going to go check. Tim is going to give me a number in a second. I'm going to go check the registrations and we are going to see who is going to win a prize. So, all right, Tim, I want you to pick a number from 1 to 17.
You know what? I like the number 14. Can we do 14?
14 is Kenda Taylor. Kenda, congratulations. We're super excited for you. And those, just so you guys know, your registration link, well, we will continue to use that each week. So we're so excited that you're here. Hey, Dolores, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being here. Congratulations to Kenda. I know some of you know her. Kenda Taylor. So Kenda, you need to go to doyouneo.com/I1 to claim your prize, because I have made my husband responsible for shipping them out, because hey, we've been talking about the fact that we need to get things off our plate. Girlfriend here is very busy. So I did that to make sure that I get one more thing off my plate, because I wasn't going to give out prizes if I have to ship them, because I know I'll get behind. And so I told my husband, all right, these are coming to you when they come in. So, and then let's finish up with the last thing is our quote for the day. It's when we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, everyone is blessed. So who can you give to today? Maybe you give them, the link here so they can actually get a free report. Maybe you give them your time. Maybe you answer a question. Maybe you play ball with a neighbor's kid, or maybe you make a cake. But we need to take care of each other, especially in times like this when things are frustrating and difficult and confusing. We need to help each other out and become the best version of ourselves. So if you guys have, we have about 2 minutes left. If you have any other questions, let us know. And Tim, do you have something you want to end with while we're waiting to see if anybody has any additional questions?
Does anyone in your group actually want to make any extra money?
I'm sure they do, because that's partly what this is
That's
about. If
what you
anybody
hear.
wants to make some extra money, let us know, because there's obviously opportunities with our sponsor,
Yeah.
You Financial.
Well, listen, there's two ways you can get involved with You Financial. One is rolling up your sleeve and becoming an agent and selling it. That might not interest you. It might. And certainly you can talk to Vicky about that. But if you're just interested in referring, our average referral check is $500. Okay. And that's if somebody goes through the process, they buy the product, it's a $500 referral fee. And we can show you exactly how to do that. You don't have to know the numbers, you don't have to be a financial wizard. You basically just need to care about people and try to help them get to a point where we can refer them off to someone else who is a professional that does this for a living, and that's available. So if that's interests you, let us know.
Absolutely. And I think that's, again, if you need extra opportunities, it doesn't get much easier than knowing that someone maybe could, maybe they need, or we all need to get out of debt. We all need to, well, except for one guest here,
Yeah.
we all usually have some debt, whether it's just our home or a car. And so let's, think about it. I bet you've heard someone during this time right now going, oh my gosh, my house is, I'm going to miss my house payment. Oh, great. Thanks, GLA. Oh, Beth, thanks, Beth. That they're struggling. And by the way, I want to put this out there as well. If you know somebody, because you guys know that we're forming our nonprofit, the ones that I talked about in the book called You're Broke, Not Broken. If you know someone who's struggling with their home, that wants to sell their home, maybe they're getting behind on their payments and they're in pre-foreclosure, let me know. Because if it's a property we're interested, we might be able to help, because we're adding on some properties and creating some rentals and stuff like that. So let us know, especially if it's on a lake, because I want to go to a lake. we're trying to get a lake property up in Spring Lake Valley. But let us know, because I know that right there can relieve the pressure on someone and relieve the burden of them, damaging their credit reports and all those kind of things. So let's keep that stuff in mind. Refer them for a free for the free financial report. Let us know if they're looking to sell their house, and before the bank takes over. Because right now, if they're not working, it's rough. They need some of the ideas from the Do You Neo show. You need to share it out for them, but it might not be fast enough for them. So let us know. Any parting words, Tim?
No,
It's 12:30 and we want to
yeah,
respect everyone's time.
absolutely. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate your sponsorship. We appreciate your wisdom. And guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please be here tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. We will be doing the Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak show. And next week, we have I have controversial topics, but we always treat them with dignity and respect, and we add in value, how you can build your business, how you can build your brand, and how you can use that information to learn to communicate more effectively. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Ciao. Bye, everybody.
See ya.